Hey everybody, it's Kimberly, your independent nurse contractor. I want to thank you all for coming to my channel. How are you doing? I hope you're staying safe and protected. You're manifesting your goals and your dreams, all that good stuff. So let me do a little bit of housekeeping right now. One, I want to apologize for not uploading any videos recently. I suck at that. I'm just going to say all that right now. Also, I have my fan going on in the background. As you can hear, I live in Texas. That fan is not going. This fan is not going to get turned off. I'm just so sorry. I'm sorry for you all for having to hear that. Okay, but anyway, let's get into this video. So I want to talk about my experience through COVID as an independent nurse contractor. I know y'all might want to know, y'all might not want to know, but in either case, you're about to know. Before the pandemic, I was performing cases for a radiologist, which was a private practice. I was providing moderate sedation and recovery for uterine fibroid embolization and peripheral arterial disease procedures. And in the beginning, I was having an hourly rate, and I was also able to, get refunds for certain things that were necessary for my position or for my job duties anyway. And that worked pretty well. I was able to have cases scheduled based on my availability. So my availability was pretty much like, I think it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. And I would be there for about 4 hours at the most. I would say the most I have been in his office probably was like 6 hours. And I also received the base rate, no insurance or anything like that, because again, I'm 1099. It was pretty decent gig. I would get paid every week, or if I only worked that day, then I would get paid for that day. So I didn't have any issues with, getting my pay or anything like that. So it was pretty well. We would do like maybe 1 or 2 cases. Some days it'll be 1 case, some days it'll be 2 cases. It just, it was like that. So at the beginning of my shift, I would go in and I would do like the, vital signs, the typical nursing stuff, your assessments, medications, vital signs, whatnot. The tech, he'd do the IV or whatever. We had anesthesia. Sometimes we would have anesthesia. And if there was anesthesia there, then I would just do the recovery part, which was I'm not going to downplay stuff, because for some people what's easy for me is not easy for someone else. And what I mean by easy is just that when you've done something for so long, it becomes second nature. So they'll do recovery for about 2 hours. The first hour is the T-band monitoring with frequent vital signs. And during the entire recovery process, I'm doing pain management, making sure that they're comfortable and that they're fine and everything like that. I have orders that are signed by the physician that I can go ahead and, follow them if I need to, things like that. I normally like to do discharge instructions before we start the procedure if I have time, because you're alert and your patient is alert and oriented, and I'm able to get that out, answer any questions before we start. And if not, then I have a family member that comes in at the last portion of the recovery, and I'll go over the discharge instructions with the family member, because sometimes people, when you come out of recovery, you're as a patient, you're not going to remember everything that I said. So that's how they. And so we do the typical discharge stuff. You go discharge paperwork. They sign the paperwork. You take out the make sure they go to the bathroom, take out the IV, let them put on their clothes if they need to be wheeled out. All that good stuff. Now, when you're doing a private practice, it's not like a hospital setting. So there are things that because money matters in private practice, it's no such thing as someone could just be there and they could just stay there entire 6 hours or whatever the case is in a private practice. Now, time is money. So that's another thing that I like about being an independent and also working for just the physicians themselves. You have a lot more autonomy and a lot more leeway, and your patients are practically well patients. Okay. So that's pretty much how that would go. And then they'll get their appointments, and they'll, now for the fun part. So when let me go back. So when the shelter in place kicked in, we were not able to do any elective cases. I charged a flat rate at the time because the radiologist I worked for was like, this don't apply to me. I'm going to do what I want to do. So he wasn't real happy with the flat rate at first because he was just not feeling that. But I had to explain, like, I'm doing the moderate sedation. I am in these people's face, putting the nasal cannula in. Sometimes when these people come out of recovery, they start coughing, they start sneezing. And he's had a few patients that literally just coughed in my face. They just looked dead in my face and coughed in my face. And he was also a risk taker, so he did not care about COVID out here in these streets. And so I was like, okay, you know what? If you want me to continue to do cases for you or be available. So we were doing cases for a little bit. He let one of his employees go. And I don't know, I just have a sixth sense when it comes to, I already know I'm going to get the tail end of some drama. So we were doing cases for a little bit. Then it started slowing down. And, and everything like that, which was foreseeable because people are like, I'm not finna, no, it's going down out here. I'm not finna, no. And eventually, he slowly started getting back to doing cases. And I think I came back to do like maybe 1 or 2 cases. And so finally, we were going to do a case on a Friday. And I noticed no one called to confirm on Thursday night. And, I'm like, okay, we're going to do this case tonight. What we gonna do? So it took some hours before. So no one was responding. So finally, the newly appointed office manager texted me back and said, oh, they no longer needed my services. They got someone to cover it. Okay. Now, this is, to me, it was funny because, we had this whole discussion about PPP loans that this particular person said he was not with, but he ended up, applying for the PPP loan anyway, and he got it. So, he let us all go, and then he hired this other nurse. I think she was a little bit older, and she also was an op. If y'all know what an op means, y'all know what I'm talking about. And paid her less than what he was paying me. Which, it is what it is, But, she came with a lot of drama because, what happens when you let good people go, you deserve that karma. So, he ended up with a lot of karma with some, some stuff. He didn't learn. So one of the people that worked there apologized for not responding because she didn't know how to respond because she just felt like it was, kind of messed up. And it wasn't her fault, Like I said, my spirit told me something was about to pop off anyway. Like, just be prepared. And it is what it is. So I was back out in the job market again looking for another contract, which was kind of hard to do because we're in the middle of a pandemic. And there were other PRN jobs and things like this. And being independent, I'm just going to tell you right now, or even if you are an experienced nurse trying to transition or trying to move over, you get into these spaces where people feel intimidated about your skill set, about your independence, and things like that. So I ran into a lot of that. And you also get to a point where you start feeling like some of the interview questions are kind of dumb. I mean, that's... So I got my little plastic strap intact. So anyway, during the pandemic, I went through a lot of performative job interviews. And they led to nowhere. So I just gave it up to Spirit. I was like, whatever's for me is for me. Whatever Spirit has, in store, I'm ready to receive. So about October, or maybe a few months before, I don't know, I saw for COVID testing or something like that. To be honest, I don't even remember applying for it or whatever. I don't even remember. All I know is that this agency contacted me, and I filled in for someone's shift in October, and then I started doing COVID observation testing from November all the way into June. So I'm pretty sure I found this position on Indeed, because it's a question that you all ask me a lot is, how do I find these independent contracts? I found them on Indeed. I'm just going to be honest with you. So with this contract, With this agency, I signed on as a 1099 to keep my independent contractor status. And I was their only independent contractor nurse on top of that. So it was a pretty cool gig. It was for COVID testing observation. All my PPE was provided for me. I was going to a fulfillment center and observing the associates take their own, well, do self-administered COVID testing, and I would answer the questions that they needed, guide them through the process, all that stuff. I had to be 6 feet away from everyone, so I had like a little bed. There were two other associates that were there with me. One would have them check in, and one would have them check out. We were very spaced apart from each other, so there was no risk of COVID for us anyway, because we were so far, spaced out so far. And the way they had it set up, like, it was like no reason for anyone to be on top of me and no reason for me to be on top of anyone else. So it was a very safe environment, to be honest. My shift was at night, so I would work from 6 p.m. to 1:30 in the morning. I got mileage as well, so I got a regular base pay plus mileage because it's a local assignment. No benefits because again I'm 1099, no benefits. So it was pretty good. Got paid every week. It was a decent rate. It wasn't as high as all the other COVID rates at the time because one, it wasn't bedside. This is just, the contract was supposed to be a month, but it kept getting extended. So I was there for a while. Then it was supposed to be extended until August, but they canceled our contracts in June because they said the FDA said that they did not need medical supervision for COVID testing in their facility. I've never heard of anything like that before, but it is what it is. Next thing you know, I've seen their CEO in a spaceship. But anyway, so right now I am chilling. Don't really know what I want to do as far as my my next venture, but there are, from what I understand, as far as COVID testing is going and vaccinations, there's a lot of there's TV production, COVID testing and whatnot. So they have some contracts out for that. So I would just keep a lookout for movie I can't even talk. Movie production, COVID testing. COVID testing probably is going to start amping up again. The vaccinations, whether you're unvaxxed or vaxxed, it doesn't matter what your stance is on that. They're going to be looking for more nurses to do those sites again. So I will look into that. I will also look into private practices or smaller facilities, and also sign on with smaller agencies because those particular entities may not have that intense requirement as these bigger facilities and as these bigger agencies. And what I mean by that is a lot of these agencies want you to take these prophecy tests, and then the hospital wants you to take tests. And to me, I just feel like it's a waste of time. It's their credentialing process for JACO or whatever. I just feel like it's a waste of time for me to do all that. I feel like my skills speak for themselves. If you're doing a background check, you got the resume, your references or whatnot. That's all, you know what I'm saying? And I've also learned that a lot of those tests that they give you are not aligned with what you actually do anyway. So I just don't like wasting my time doing that type of stuff. So and I have ADHD, so that's another reason why if they come at me with these tests, I'm just not even going to do the assignment. I'm just like, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's overwhelming for me. I just want to go out there and work, do what I got to do. I'm lying. I really don't want to work. I'm just kind of tired of working. I'm asking the universe right now to bless me with a work-free, luxurious life. Okay, don't tell nobody I gotta sneeze. But anyway, that's why I prefer smaller agencies and private practices, because they are straightforward about what their needs are. They're not for the jumping through the hoops. If they need you right then and there, period. So that's that. So I just wanted to let you all know what my COVID ordeal been like and what I was going through as an independent nurse contractor. You can leave your comments. I will answer them if you have any questions. You know how I am. Y'all know I be on it with y'all questions and comments. Make sure you subscribe for future videos. If you want me to discuss anything else in another video, you can also drop that down in the comments as well. I will be glad to do that. Y'all, I'm going to try to be more consistent about putting these videos out. But in the meanwhile, so I need to get myself up and moving around. I caught myself going dancing last weekend, and I was hitting that little wine a little too strong, and I've been feeling that soreness in my lower back for the past couple of days. Oh, that's how you know you're not young, not low. But anyway, y'all, I really enjoyed making this video for you guys. I hope to hear from you soon. Meanwhile, stay safe and take the proper precautions you need to take in order to keep you and your family safe. Please don't jump on the I am vaxxed versus the unvaxxed bandwagon, because it takes two to start a war. You know, we need to have compassion for each other regardless of what our statuses and opinions are, okay? So I just want to leave you with that. I want to tell you all good luck. Till next time.